Here's what's happening at Ewetopia Farms today. We're filling up this grain hauler here. We want to get every little morsel. People pay you what they feel like paying you. There's no set prices. It really is a poor system. There's got to be a solution. I don't know what it is. Hurry up, let's get started. Okay, it did rain last night. Not an awful lot, but we managed to cover up all the grain that was in wagons. We couldn't get a transport truck to pick up the grain last night, so that's what we're doing today. We're filling up this grain hauler here. We got all the wagons here as well. Cody's done his milking, or he's got someone doing it for him because he's here bright and early too. And we still have one little field left to combine. So busy day today, and none of the sheep have hay right now. They are totally out, so it's going to be a mad rush all day long. We have already had one transport truck take 50 tons of soybeans away, and we'll see how many tons we get on this wagon or transport. Your little backlit here. How many guys does it take to load beans or offload beans? So it comes out of the wagon, it gets augered up here, and offloads there. We want to get every little morsel. So the first day we started, it was warm and summer-like. Day 2 was windstorm and rain. It came later, the rain. And today we're dealing with really, really cold temperatures. It's sunny in one direction and storm clouds still there in the other. But I'm wearing my winter clothes today. And this is the ram paddock where we let the rams out to graze normally. And you can see in the background the wind took off a lot of our maple leaves, but there's the oaks are holding on, it looks like. They're the yellower ones. Today we're in a bit of a dilemma because normally we send a lot of these soybeans off to the people who make our sheep ration, but when we called them yesterday they didn't have any grain trucks to get over here, so we're sending our beans elsewhere. However, in order to make our grain ration with our own beans, we still have to get a little bit of beans over to the other place. Either that or we're going to end up buying in beans to feed the sheep this year, which may or may not end up costing more. The price of beans this year at harvest time have dropped like $100 a ton since August. And that's what they do to farmers every year at harvest time. And of course our costs were up this year, as is every farmer's costs up, because our input costs are way higher. They never ever go down. But what they pay us for our products is guaranteed to go down every year. It is not a good system. We've said it before. Farmers are the only people who work pretty well 7 days a week, and when it's time to sell their produce, people pay you what they feel like paying you. There's no set prices, and of course nobody wants to pay more, so it really is a poor system, because most people, I'm sure, would say that they wouldn't go to work and sit in the office every week for a whole year, and at the end of the year the boss said, I think I'll give you $30,000 this year, and you don't have a choice. It's not like you can debate it or go on strike or anything. It is what the boss says it is, and it's a really poor system for farmers around the world. And that's why you are seeing on the news more and more frequently that farmers are upset. Because, like I say, fuel costs are way up, fertilizer costs way up, labor costs way up, machinery, repairs, all way, way up. And yet we're still getting the same prices for our commodities, be it meat products, crops, whatever it is a farmer's producing, we're getting less or the same as we got like 20 years ago. Which means, of course, we're losing money every single year. And that's why being efficient is so, so important for us. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, actually. The only people that do really good in Canada are people under quota systems, because they do have a fixed rate, great for their product. They know exactly what they're going to get ahead of time, and they get a raise every year, or basically when they ask for it. And so those are the farmers that are doing well. In Canada, that would be dairy farmers, anything to do with poultry. They have quota systems, which means they get a guaranteed price. And of course, everyone would like a quota system, but most countries have dumped quota systems around the world because it puts the price of food up, because now you got to pay the farmers more for what they produce. However, it costs us more, so it's a really fine line. Of course, you don't want food prices to go up because people have to eat, but we have to eat too. Like, we do buy the groceries, and we do have to pay the raised costs for products that we produced at a fraction of the cost. There's got to be a solution. I don't know what it is. If you want. That's the driver. Okay, I was just talking to Cody, and officially the first field we did on day one, we got 43 bushels an acre. Yesterday, the fields we did, we got 58 bushels an acre average. So the two fields planted at different times, under different weather conditions and different soil conditions. It makes that much difference. While they're loading the last grain bin there, I'll head over to the cornfield and see how that's doing. Okay, so I've taken you to other cornfields, but this is the one right beside our house, and we'll have a look and see how the corn cobs look. You want to see that the kernels go to the end of the cob when you take the little beard off. And this one's got like just a little tiny bit at the end that didn't develop. But most of it's looking pretty good. Beautiful yellow color, that's for sure. Here they're getting ready to leave. So this guy's gonna pull away. Hopefully I'm not parked in his way. Don't I say that out all the time? So up there he's got a little tarp that he's rolling closed so none of the beans go flying down the road. And these beans are heading out to the grain elevators, which are about 40 minutes away from here. They'll go into some storage tanks and eventually they'll be shipped usually onto a boat, a laker that goes down the St. Lawrence. And you'll have to stay tuned because I do have a future Wandering Shepherds video coming up very shortly about the Lakers and the St. Lawrence Seaway, which is kind of cool. And they're off.
Last night he had 50 ton of horn on it. Yeah. Somewhere high with 33 or something. Up by oil. Yeah. You mentioned the names. But yeah, he just said you got 3 customers from Willows, new ones. Yeah. Because Willows couldn't find any transportation.
Well, Cody just arrived with the combine. This is the last little field we have to do. I think it's just a 7-acre field. I'm thinking these beans look good in this field. We'll see. So now we're just waiting for Arnie to bring the head over for the combine. And I can see he's coming down the road now. And our beans are coming too. See how he does this one? I guess he's gonna go to the end of the road and turn around. to get it on than it was to get it off, it seems. Say, you don't want to see someone operating heavy equipment and all of a sudden they stop. And he hasn't quite made a full pass around the entire field yet, and he stopped. I'm thinking he might have hit a rock. Okay, he started it up again, but there was definitely some sort of plug going on there. Hopefully nothing serious. With another wagon. This little property from our neighbor. Thinking that even though this is a small little field, the beans look heavy. See the density? I'm not sure what's happening, but he did stop again and got out and moved something. Is it rocks? From where I am in the field, I don't see any rocks here, but something's going on. He's very full. You can see the corn. I don't know why I always call it corn. You can see the soybeans piling up at the top of his combine here. So he's going to be driving up here to unload it in a second. Here he comes. Let me get out of his way. Comes the beans. I believe he told us that the combine holds 9 ton. I think that's what he said when we were in the combine the other day. So this is a 7-acre field. There's still a lot of beans left on that he has to take off. So we know for sure that we've got over a ton an acre already. Normally we would like to see 1.5 tons for our beans. We're usually quite happy with that. And normally that is what we get. I would say he's got half a field left to go. We might get closer to 2 ton an acre on this field. Well, that's the last swipe. And we are done beans for 2024. He's just going to dump this batch in and we're finished. So now he's got to take the grain head off again and put it onto his little transport wagon. And he's done beans for the year now too. This is much harder than putting it on. Lining it up onto that little trailer is obviously not easy, as you saw in yesterday's video. Hooking it on went a lot easier than it did in the field yesterday. Probably this lands a little bit more level. Okay, we're in the tractor now. Arnie's not gonna hit my car. We're gonna follow Cody with the combine. We're putting all the equipment away. So we're gonna head out to Cody's house. We have a wagon full of beans behind us. This is all that was left. It wouldn't fit on the truck. So Cody's actually going to drive this to the elevators and our feed dealer on the road himself. And we might join him for that trip. We'll see how that goes.